Hey yo guys, how's it going? Tally here, and today we are taking a look at one of my most favourite decks ever, and it's going to stay one of my most favourite decks ever. Taking a look at Pendulum. Alright, so Pendulum is a deck that there's a million potential things that you can put in a Pendulum deck, lots of different engines, lots of different ways to play the Pendulum deck, but we're going to look at my favourite version, which is Endymion Magician right now, with a bit of Guard Dragon nonsense in the mix as well. So guys, let's dive right into it. Alright guys, before we jump into today's deck profile, as always, let's hit that goal. Let's keep the like streak going, keep smacking the like button as much as you can. If you haven't already hit subscribe, please do me a favour, go ahead and hit subscribe, you will not regret it. I want to hit 500 subs by the end of the year, and I know we can get there, so let's do that very quickly, and without further ado, let's move on to the deck profile. Alright, starting off we have our free, absolutely mandatory Servant of Endymion. First of all, this card's amazing. Second of all, this card doesn't deserve to be a common, which is why it's an OTS 12 super rare, which I'm really excited about. But most importantly guys, the deck kind of revolves around resolving this card in some way, shape or form. The deck has a lot of spells, a lot of draw power, and a lot of ways to get this card to resolve. If you resolve this card, you win the game. It's as simple as that. It allows you to start your plays, extend your plays, finish your plays, and finish your opponent most importantly. Okay, for those of you who don't know what it does, every time it's in the scale and a spell card is activated, it pops a spell counter on there. Then, once it has free, you can remove it to special summon it itself and another spellcaster that can hold a counter with over like 1,000 attack points or something like that, which by the way is a fair few of them, and we are running the best ones in this deck. So let's take a look at those. Its monster effect is actually kind of cool, lets it attack directly if it has a spell counter, but not super mandatory. Okay, so our targets for this are 2 Jackal King and 1 Big Endymion. 2 Jackal King, I like actually to see Jackal King because it's a 1 card negate and it's a level 6, so it's easy to pendulum summon under pretty much almost every single scale in the deck. So I run 1 Big Endymion, you guys can run 2, it's amazing, right? There have been situations where I have wanted more than 1, there's also been situations where I'm glad I've only got 1, you know, it's a solid 1 or 2 of, like, it's up to you guys to decide, but I like these ratios right here. If you don't know what these do, Jackal King removes 2 spell counters from anywhere in the field to negate a monster effect. It's also a soft once per turn, so that means if you have 2 Jackals out and you have 4 spell counters, then you have 2 monster negates. This is a spell and trap negate, and it's also so much more than that. While it's in the pendulum zone, you can remove 6 spell counters and destroy lots of stuff. You can destroy cards up to the amount of cards that you have with spell counters on them at that point in time. So if you've got loads of spell counters on and you've got 2 or 3 cards, you can pop 2 or 3 cards and special summon this guy for absolutely free. It's honestly, it's one of the best cards in the deck if I'm going to be real with you guys. It cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effect when it has a spell counter, and if it dies by battle when it has a spell counter, you get to search a normal spell card. By the way, normal spell cards are actually very good. Honestly, one of the best cards in the deck, if not like one of the best negates in the deck as well. And moving on to our cards that facilitate our Electromite Turbo and also get us some free spell counters. So Chronograph is a spell, this is a spell. When this is in scale, if you have no monsters on your field, you can special summon it. So if you have this and Servant, that's already 1 spell counter. If you happen to have this in your hand, where it can destroy itself to special summon the Time Gazer Magician, that's another spell. And of course, the deck has that much draw power that you're likely to see these. I like this at a 2, because it can be kind of bricky. I like this as a 3, because you always want to see it in every opening hand. Like, this is situationally good, because sometimes you want to get the free Dark Worm summon. This is always good, because it's got no restrictions. As long as you can destroy it with its own effect, it will summon Time Gazer Magician, which is honestly amazing. And of course, this card's effect to special summon itself is once per duel, so of course you don't really want to see too much of it later on in the game. Then, currently running 2 and 1. Okay, again, this deck doesn't really want to see too many Dark Worm. Like, you've got a lot of draw power, you've got a lot of search power, so you can in fact more likely than not draw into your Dark Worms. So we're running it at 2 just to keep the deck tight, keep the deck efficient, and of course you always want to be able to plus off of Dark Worm, so you've got that Supreme King Gate 0 to search. That card is actually, like, again, one of the most underrated cards in the deck, because it's a low scale, The deck doesn't really worry about low scales though, because we've got Servant. It's also a level 7 for our Absolute Vortex plays, and like it's just free link material, so this is always a good card. If you open it, it's an okay card. If you get to search it off a Darkworm, it's an amazing card. Okay, that's our quick Darkworm package. Moving on to what some people consider controversial, I like the Magicians. I don't think I'll ever play a Pendulum deck that doesn't include the Magicians. So we're running a tight Pendulum package of 2 Harmonizing, 1 Dragon Pit, 1 Purple Poison and 1 Black Fang. Essentially, this does kind of brick a little bit more, but it raises the deck's power ceiling by a lot. Harmonizing Magician is a 1 card Synchro 8, or it's also a rank 4, which are incredibly powerful in today's meta, including cards like Abyss Dweller. Like if you can get Abyss Dweller turn 1, you pretty much auto-win the vast majority of your matchups. There are ways in pure Endymion decks without any Magicians to cheat things like Abyss Dweller out, but I don't find it's quite consistent, and I think it's less powerful. It's just it's a lower ceiling. It's not quite as good as running your Magicians. So, Dragon Pit Magician, mostly it's a scale 8, it's also level 7 that you can summon off Harmonized Magician. These two are to facilitate your rank 4 plays, but they do come up. This allows you to revive a big Endymion if it was used as like an Xyz material, and this allows you to make your big Endymion more powerful and destroy cards on the field. So there are more utility to them, they're more flexible than some engines that some people play, and I really like them. And for part of our Guard Dragon package, we run 1 Aether, 1 Tempest and 1 Destrudo, simple as that. These oftentimes will go in and make us our rank 7 Absolute, and then you summon this off of Spheres to get a banish during your opponent's turn. These are amazing in the sense that you can search these out, you can get these in your graveyard when you want them, and they're great combo extenders. Oftentimes as well, like I used to use this every single turn I could. Now the decks are, like the board is that big that I cannot actually facilitate Destrudo, which says a lot, right? You're getting a lot more negates without Destrudo than you do with, meaning that you have these two in the graveyard for follow-up turns, meaning you can power through and destroy your opponent. That is if they don't scoop turn 1 when they see your massive board. Moving on to our spell cards, and there is a lot of them. So for our Foolishes, we're running 2 Shrine, 1 Burial. Again, there's like a lot of utility to these. If you've got a Darkworm in hand, you can normal summon it, and then you can use Foolish Burial to send like your Tempest, you can use Dragon Shrine to send your Tempest or Destrudo, you can use your Foolish Burial, like say for example you want to cheat out something with Electromite, pop Black Fang in scale, Foolish, your big Endymion, pop Black Fang, get Endymion for free. Honestly, like there's a lot of potential plays with these cards, so I like to see them as early as we can, but because this is a hard ones per turn, running this doesn't hurt. Also, we have a lot of draw power. We are running 7 draw cards. I don't run Desires in this deck because I have too many one-offs, but guys, Desires is a good alternative to like literally everything. Desires is never a bad card, it's a +1 for free. I like these though because they're non-once per turn cards that cycle through your deck and get you spell counters for Servant of Endymion. Allure of Darkness, draw 2, banish a dark. If you cannot banish a dark, discard your hand. Upstart Goblin, your opponent gets 1,000 life points and you get a free card. Into the Void, Upstart Goblin with literally no cost, like they say, discard your hand in the end phase. Spoilers, we probably don't have a hand because we're Pendulum, and what we do is vomit our hands on the board and we make giant negate boards. So there's 7 free cards for like no cost whatsoever. Honestly, like you've always got darks to banish. Upstart Goblin like doesn't matter. I've OTK'd recently through like 10,000 life points. Honestly, they're just amazing. And then to search out our Endymions, free Spell Power Mastery. This card again, mandatory free. Like it sucks to draw multiple, but you've got to see it. It searches out an Endymion and places a spell counter on every card that can take one. Like that's just, it's free real estate. It actually honestly is free real estate. Amazing card, and I can't, again, like I wish this had a rarity bump up. Like I'd love to see this in Ulti or something, but yeah, absolutely mandatory to run free. And just for some utility cards, I like running these. So Secret Village, if you end on a spellcaster, which guys you're pretty much guaranteed to do so, then your opponent cannot activate spell cards, which stops them from super polying your board. Dragon Ravine is searchable in a couple of ways. First of all, you've got Terraforming, second of all, you've got Romulus. It's part of the combo for the Guard Dragon plays. As long as you've got 1 card in hand to discard, you're all fine. And again, like Secret Village isn't mandatory for the deck's win con, but when you open it, like you actually cannot lose. And our last 2 cards, just to help with our Magician engine, Pendulum Call and Duelist Alliance. Just search with Duelist Alliance and get Pen Call. You kind of, they're 2 cards that you will never be sad about seeing because this requires a card in scale. So you'll have Servant, You activate this, you get Pendulum Call. If you've got Dark Worm in hand, then like that's an absolute FTK right there. So that is the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck, guys. First card in the extra deck we're looking at, of course, it's got to be Electromite. Like, guys, you know what Electromite does at this point. Pops cards, searches cards, draws card. It's amazing, right? It sets up your scales, it sets up your extra deck so that you've got all the combo pieces you need. Overall, in this deck there's 3 major engines, and this card kind of makes sure that you get to those engines, right? It makes sure that you get to those 3 engines, those 3 big jigsaw pieces as part of the puzzle. Like, Konami was kind of right to limit this card, because honestly Pendulums with free Electromite would still be busted. Next we're moving on to our Guard Dragon engine though, where it's got 1 Pisty, 1 Dragoonity Knight, Romulus, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, and 1 Spheres. So without Agripain, the whole dragon side of things is a little bit more complicated than it used to be, but honestly not very much. You're just replacing Agripain with this, adding in a Dragon Ravine and adding in a Tempest. That way you can still make your rank 7s fairly easily, go into Spheres and have multiple negates literally just off of a Dark Worm. It's pretty nutty that way. Then for some of our generic Link 3s and 4s, we've got 1 Borrowload, 1 Appaloosa, 1 Borrow Sword, and the return for me of Zephyr Metaltron. This card is good. Okay, let's just break it down. So Borrow Sword is your OTK machine, attacks twice, always does 3000 damage plus. Appaloosa kinda is for those board fixers. Borrowload Dragon for your Thunder Dragon matchup, get rid of those pesky cards that can't be destroyed. And lastly we have Zephyr Metaltron. Guys, this is a good card. Like, I feel like a lot of Pendulum players have forgotten about it. Let me tell you what it does. If a card it points to is destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to add a card from your grave or from your Pendulum deck face up to your hand. So like, this can recur your Electromites. If you want to play a grindier game, this card's really good for that, because it allows you to maintain consistent resource management. Zephyr Metaltron, really good card, and can break boards too. Like, it allows you to banish a card summoned from the extra deck on your opponent's side of the field and from your side of the field. Doesn't necessarily have to be an extra deck monster, mind you. Like, if you Pendulum summon a Time Gazer Magician from your extra deck to a zone this card points to, like, you can do that and just break your opponent's board that way. This card's really good, people underestimate it. And for some of our engine pieces we have 1 Absolute Dragon to go along with it. We have 1 Vortex Dragon, rank 7 still very possible in the deck. Vortex Dragon, best Pendulum boss monster ever. Negates, it bounces, it does damage, and it's got a 3k defense. It's hard to beat over. Then we have Abyss Dweller for our generic rank 4. Again, probably the best generic rank 4 in the game right now. Absolutely mandatory to play, like, there's no way getting around it. Shuts down Thunders, Orchists, like, those are some of the biggest decks right now. And because we're playing the Magicians, we get quite a robust synchro package. We have our Borrow Savage, our Ignister Prominence, and the Phaedon Dragster. This guy's freely available pretty much off of the Strudo. The Strudo can always make this. But these two are a bit better, because with Borrowload Savage Dragon, you've got your free negate, you've got a big beat stick, but with this guy's amazing, right? Ignister Prominence deals with a lot of non-destructive removal. It destroys some of your scales, so again, if you've got some of your Magicians in scale, you can use that, get pluses off that. Also really good in the Pendulum mirror match. Like, if they have scales, then you can pop their scales to trigger its effect. If you want to run the Draco Slayers, it can summon the Draco Slayers for free advantage, and it gets rid of kind of those pesky cards that can't be destroyed by battle or card effect, because it just shuffles them away. So guys, that is the deck profile. Let's take it to the outro. Guys, as always, if you like the profile, make sure to hit like and hit subscribe down below for more Tally content. If there's any decks that you want to see in future, leave them down in the comments, and if you like Pendulum, then let me know what you like about Pendulum. What's your favourite Pendulum monster, guys? As always though, if you liked it, give it a like. If you loved it, give it a share and tell everyone you know about Team Tally today. And as always guys, you have been amazing. I have been Tally. I'll catch you later. Bye.